Om Swastiastu. Good morning. Thank you for the time that given to me. My name is Ida Ayumadi Chasya Pramananjani, but you can call me Dai Chasya. In this video, I would like to explain about pragmatics, natural science, conventional science, and linguistic style. Pragmatics research focus on how individuals use language in everyday contexts and interactions. Pragmatics use speech in certain communication situations as the units of analysis, but we communicate with each other in many different ways. This means sharing what you know or think you know, expressing feelings, asking questions, making demands, protesting, criticizing, instructing, apologizing, promising thanks, saying hello, and saying goodbye. While language seems to serve as many purposes as it does in the context of its use, the basic functions of language are actually quite limited. So, pragmatic linguistics that focus on the meaning is known as pragmatics. Pragmatics research human ability to communicate adequately through language is a topic of mutual concern. Semantics focus on the speaker's ability to use language system to produce meaningful speech and process the speech of others. While pragmatics focus on what the speaker is concerned about. It focuses on a person's ability to derive a meaning from certain types of linguistic situation sequentially, to identify, interpret what is said based on the background knowledge of the speaker and the situation. The distinction between the semantics and pragmatics is arguably blurred, and different research may disagree where it lies. You might think of it as pragmatic inside of implicature. The term of implicature refers to what speakers can imply, suggest, or mean as opposed to what the speaker actually says. Implicature is one of the ways that speaker can convey one of proposition by uttering or under appropriate. For the example, like, do you like Monica? She's the cream in my coffee. Bill's implicated message, yes, more than you know. Next, for the conventional sign, a definition of natural language processing. The natural language processing on NLP is field of computer science, artificial intelligence, and language or linguistics that can deal with the interaction between computers and natural human language. For example, Indonesia or English. The main goal of NLP studies is create or make a machine that can be able to understand the meaning of human language and then provide appropriate response. The natural semantic meta-language or NSM is the decompositional system is based on the intrinsically stabilized semantic primes, grammatical rules, and words are stabilized. Goals in natural science carry out on the process of making compositional models from language so that there can be interaction between humans and computers through natural language for scientific purpose. For example, like researching the properties from a natural language, or for everyday purpose. In this case, facilitating communication between humans and computers. For example, like good versus bad, big versus small, on the Hinduism, like jegek or bocok. Conventional sign, system of symbol that people use to communicate is language. The symbols can be spoken, written, or in by hand. All people who mostly use language to communicate with other bonds from society, a language community, namely the English language community. For example, within these communities, there are differences in the way different people use language, especially those of geographical or social nature. When people who share the same mother tongue can understand each other but still notice difference in harmony in the other speech, we can say they speak a different language. It is easy to describe subtle difference in the vocabulary difference, such as gasoline versus gasoline, elevator versus elevator, and indispensable way of framing a particular question, like, do you have a pencil Compare do you have a pencil versus you have a pencil. For the case, it's really hard to tell how difference there is between camp or parties where one soft talk ends, another begins. And for the linguistic science, symbols can be spoken, written. This language is one of the general conditions in society. Numerous further general conditions, intuition, and beliefs shape the culture of that society. Language can be said to be complex system of symbols or signs which members of community follow. It's important for us to consider the other signs that we want to emphasize of that. What's how we respond of them. Sight, sound, and smell hairs can be sign of nature. They're with someone who is watching and can be communicated, but their post doesn't contain a byproduct of the event. Unlike natural signs, conventional signs have a mortal sender as well as a mortal receiver. Every bone has a purpose and interpretation, for the process of getting in a lot of information. First is perceptions, to look, saying that we have to celebrate mean that we can describe it with the former bone that's stored in our memory. 3 is interpretation. We can say these are frequently specific, and the meaning of each sign is depends on the space-time terrain when observed it. Words we can say as a verbal signs, analogs in certain facilitation. Pay attention to natural and conventional signs. For example, like book, tree, house, busung, or bantan. We know of each word. When we heard about the words, we can imagine that word. For the conclusion, pragmatics is considered with how people use language in context. In real life situation, while semantics is considered with word, phrase, and sentence. The unit of analysis in pragmatics is an utterance made in specific communicative context. The meaning of sentence is determined by language, something that everyone knows learn to use the language. This is meaning of the individual words and meanings of syntax contraction in which they occur. The meaning of utterance is the meaning of sentence plus the meaning of the situation, time, and place. The people involved, background, and their relationship with each other, and what they people about each other. That's it, my explanation about the pragmatics, natural science, conventional science, and linguistic science. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.